On the eve of the second anniversary of Vladimir Putin's bid to take Ukraine's capital, the United States slapping fresh sanctions on entities who support Russia's war effort. It's being done as an executive order from the Biden administration, what with Congress gridlocked and military aid stalled by Republican opposition. For more, we can first take a look at what the bill states.
Today, I am announcing more than 500 new sanctions against Russia for its ongoing war of conquest on Ukraine and for the death of Alexei Navalny, who was a courageous anti-corruption activist and Putin's fiercest opposition leader. We are also imposing new export restrictions on nearly 100 entities for providing backdoor support for Russia's war machine. We're taking action to further reduce Russia's energy revenues, and I've directed my team to strengthen support for civil society, independent media, and those who fight for democracy around the world.
And for more, we turn to France 24's Angela Diffley from our International Affairs Desk. Yeah, the White House coming out with that. The head of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, is in Ukraine. The Democrats are showing that they want to help Ukraine.
Yeah, but it's clear that Zelensky would much rather than the aid package got through Congress, and much as most of the Democrats, all of the Democrats are happy to back that, it is not likely to happen. And aid is important, much more so than sanctions for Zelensky. Governments like sanctions. They're a fairly cheap, easy way of saying something forceful, and they do have some effect. But when the G7, the EU, the US imposed sanctions at the onset of this war, there were very high hopes. And in fact, they have not proved that effective. I mean, if you look at just oil, for example, the idea was to try to curtail Russia's oil revenue. And the G7, for example, introduced a sanction where their tankers were banned from shipping oil, which might sell for any more than $60 a barrel. They wanted not to stop sales altogether because the West needs that oil, but to curtail the profit that Russia might make. And what happened really is that other people have stepped in, other routes have been found. It has not been anything like as effective as it was trumpeted to be at the beginning, and in some ways has slightly damaged the West's grip on the global energy scene. So sanctions are one thing. Zelensky would prefer that aid to get through Congress.
Yeah, Congress gridlock. The Russians who've just had the recent win with the taking of the village of Avdiivka in the east of Ukraine, and they're saying they're going to press further west now.
Yeah, Putin is having a relatively good week. Just 1 week after the death of Navalny, a poll in Russia from a fairly reputable organization has put him at 85% popularity rating. Now, you know, this is Russia, but nevertheless, it's a fairly reputable, the Levada Center, which is a fairly reputable outfit. So he is riding high. He is delighted that the military aid is stuck in Congress, and Zelensky doesn't look like he'll get it anytime soon. The capture of Avdiivka as well is something to trumpet. He has elections coming up. Today is Fatherland Day, and he has been distributing medals all week, and it's been a good week for him. He is finding it relatively easy to put a spin on this 2 years on as looking like it's going the right way, this war. It is very far from the quick victory which he suggested might happen when the Russians first invaded Ukraine, but he's managing to put a spin on it after a relatively good spate. In Ukraine, of course, the summer offensive did not deliver. They are having severe recruitment problems. This military aid from the US is not forthcoming. The EU has promised a lot, but they are having weapons crisis, manpower crises, and the national unity is fairly solid, we gather from people we're hearing from in Ukraine. But Zelensky, from his extremely high popularity, it shouldn't be exaggerated, he's still very popular. he's around 70%. But he has reduced, his popularity has diminished slightly. And that said, although he says outwardly the aim is to recover all of the territory captured by Russia, including Crimea, it's less and less likely that that is really their ambition. The Ukrainians do not want to negotiate. They're behind Zelensky on that.